because there's no Wi-Fi to connect to. But we should be live. I think we're live. I think so. I never know how it goes with the live streams on the phone. But yeah, I just got out of My Hero Academia. You're next. Huge My Hero fan. Huge My Hero fan. I there was want to say like there's a couple showings tonight, but there were like different like group settings, so it's between the sub and the dub. And because I'm in the States, they definitely are promoting the dub first. And mainly so there was more showings for the dub than the sub. I watch both. I watch both. I watch the sub, love the sub. I watch the dub, I love the dub. But I've always watched the sub first. The dub has always been secondary. So I was like, for my first watch, let me go through the sub. So that led me to get a later showtime. I could have seen this movie hours ago. Hours ago if I just watched the dub. But I just wanted to watch the sub first. I'll probably go see it again. But my saying that to say, I think because it was late, because it's on a Thursday, I think just the nature of where we are in My Hero, and I will say necessarily that the promotion for this movie wasn't the best, and I don't think a lot of people really cared about having an All Might clone. So I'm not sure how this movie is going to go as far as like financially wise. I'm not sure how it did in Japan either. But I only had it was only including me 4 people in my showing. There's only 4 people in my showing, and it was like 2 people in there. They were a little chatty. It was like a couple or whatever. But like listening to them after the movie, it's clear that they watched the show. They were just chatty during the movie. Um, but as far as the movie experience go, I would say that this for me, so how my rankings of the movies were before this was 2, 3, 1. I love 2 the most. I love the moment at the end of the for the I love the moment at the end in movie 2 with Deku and Bakugo. I'm like, I love movie 3, and I always say movie 3 of the 3 movies felt the most like a movie. And movie 1 was good, but movie 1 just felt like 4 or 5 anime episodes just jammed together with a cool moment at the end. That's what it felt like to me. Still like this, still love My Hero. Like My Hero could do no wrong for me. So, but it's just that's how it felt. So it's always 2, 3, 1. And with this movie, my ranking is 2, 3, 4, 1. I like this movie less than the third one, and I liked it less than the second one, but I would say I liked it more than the first one, even though I will say the Deku and All Might moment at the end of movie 1 is better final moment of this movie. I think this has the weakest final moment of all 4 movies. I will say that. Like the final moment, I think was the weakest. Even though it was still crazy, might I add, it was still like I think it was the weakest, but it set like a precedent for how strong Deku can be without me spoiling it. It was just like, oh, he can do that. That just gives us a hint of like, oh, he could do that then. But I still loved his moment against Fleck more. I still loved the double Detroit going into double One for All going crazy. And the All Might moment at the end of movie 1 is just incredible. But that being aside, the thing about the movies that I love the most is the secondary characters that we get. In the first movie, it's Melissa. In the second, it's Melissa and David, really, but truly Melissa. In movie 2, it's Katsuma and Maharo. Movie 3, it's oh my goodness, Rhodey and his brother and sister. And I love all 3 of them. Now, the characters in these movies, the side characters in these movies, in this movie, I should say, Julio and Anna, their story was cool, but I don't think I cared for them as much as I cared for like Rhodey. Katsuma and Maharo are cheating because they're babies. And Melissa was just cool from jump. The first moment you see Melissa, and just the her being related to David and have the whole David tie-in, that was cool too. So it's just with this movie, I liked it. I'm probably gonna go see it again. But to be honest, this movie did not need to be made. It didn't. It didn't. I think the story, if I'm being honest, I'm being honest. I don't think this movie needed to be made. And I think you could have released this movie somewhere else than in the middle of like one of the climax of My Hero. You didn't need this movie there. This movie is harder to pull off in terms of canon. It's harder to pull off in terms of canon. The other movies you can comfortably place them in canon and be like, this area right here, this area right here, this area right here. Movie 3, not so much. It's a little harder just because it's a world scale and we never hear about it. This one is just like, how are they not talking about this at the beginning of the season? This movie is supposed to be taking place after the Dark Deku arc, so after they bring Deku back to UA, but before Shigaraki wakes up and fights Star. So it's in that little time frame. And it's just like, how are y'all not talking? How no one's mentioning this? It's stuff like that. It's easy to get away with like movie 1 and movie 2 because they're so early in the series. But these two, they're right before Calamity in a time that we're supposed to be training and stuff. So it's harder to pull this movie off. But I would have loved, like, for this story not to be a movie. I don't think it needed to be a movie. This could have been like a cool 12-episode arc, structured completely different, giving more focus to some of the characters, because there's a ton of cool quirks. The All Might copy dude, I think that could have been handled differently. I do, because the All Might clone thing, having a radicalized person that is looking at All Might's final message from his last battle and being inspired and wanting to take up his mantle, that could have been an actual arc in My Hero. Having the Three Musketeers, who are all directly connected and inspired by All Might, to go up against this All Might clone. That could have been an actual arc. And the pieces are there for it to be an arc. Matter of fact, I think that's why I'm struggling with like the final moment and the end of this, because movie 1's final moment was to finally see Deku and All Might fight together. Movie 2 was Deku and Bakugo. Movie 3 was Deku standing on his own. This movie wanted to give you the Three Musketeers being inspired by All Might to fight the All Might clone. And it wasn't like necessarily giving all of them a moment. It was like the moment was theirs collectively. Oh no, I missed a comment. I can't see it. Oh, there it is. It's what's his face? It's tough. It's tough. It's tough. I'm trying to read the comment. What's up, Jack? Hey, Jack. Who takes after? Yes, because All Might. Did I say? What did I say before the? No, it was. Yeah, it was. It's in that. It's in that week. Yeah, you're right. It is in that week. It's It, because the spoiler alert. There's a post-credit scene, and the post-credit scene is Shigaraki laying in the cave with All For One like looking over him, and it's him waking up. So it's before Shigaraki wakes up, before the final battle, before like all the Troy stuff happens and stuff, which is episode 5. Episode 5. So it takes place, matter of fact, this movie would take place episode 3, between episode 3 and 5 of season 7. because Aoyama's not in this movie. Yeah, Aoyama is not in this movie. I just thought about that. This movie takes place between episodes 3 and 5 of season 7. Because the end of, I want to say the end of episode 5 was them coming through the portals. Episode 6 was setting up everywhere going else. Episode 7, if I'm not mistaken, is Shoto and Dabi, round 1. I'm pretty sure that's episode 7. So this is between episodes 3 and 5. This movie takes place. It's hard. All the movies is tough to be like, these characters never talk about the events of the movies in the series. And this one is just like, I mean, I don't know. So it's like a lot of things you don't get to see. I think it would have been cool to get glimpses of stuff. They don't even, usually the movies give you glimpses of what characters are going to do. This movie doesn't even do that because the series has it all tightened up, right? There's reasons why Deku can't use gear shift, and is explained to us in what we later episodes from this movie, where it's just like, you haven't used it yet, you can't use it. So it's like, you can't have like a little sneak appearance of that in here. You can't get any of the cool Bakugo stuff that he ends up doing with his quirk, nor Shoto with his quirk. I feel like this is a movie that necessarily did not have to be made in the time frame that it was made. I didn't need this. I'll take it. I hope it does well. I hope it did well in Japan. I hope it does well around the world. But this movie, of the 4 movies that exist, this movie is the one that you didn't need. You didn't need this one. Yeah. I had a good time. Shoved my face full of popcorn. But I didn't need it. I'm more excited for the episode in a few days than leaving this movie. That's how it should be, though, because it's the climax of my hero. I should feel that way. But yeah, I would recommend to go see it. Go watch it because it was good. It's pretty. It's animated very well. The art is really good. I think this would have been better. I think elements of the story would be better as an arc. Yeah. I think if you wanted to do an All Might clone arc, that should have been an arc. It should have been a quick 6 to 8, maybe 12 episode arc. You could have done that. You could have. I think it would have been a cool arc. There's bits and pieces, like the whole, like Julio and Anna, the 2 new characters that we get, our 2 new hero characters that we get. They would have been cool if if that whole story was fleshed out, because it introduces more world stuff. Like, we get, like, last movie gave us heroes and stuff around the world. This movie now introduces us more, gives us an insight more into like crime across the world, like different crime families in different places around the world. So it could have, like, that could have been cool, because you have All For One constantly saying how he has connections all over the world, and all the criminals look to him because he's like the supervillain of supervillains. So if they were integrated into the story, that it would have been cooler just to see like this crime family and their quirks and what they do and how they connect to All For One. Yeah, I think this would have been better off as an arc and not a movie. I'll say that. This would have been better as an arc that could have been explored more than a movie. I think this story being a movie hurts it. And I think that the Julio crime family, Anna, all their quirk situation stuff should have been separate from the All Might impersonator taking up his mantle thing. I do think that they should have been separate. They didn't need to be in the same movie. I think separately you have two. You could have, if you wanted to do two separate movies, where one was focused on like Anna and Julio and all that stuff and all the crime stuff and that, and we need to build up to that. Cool, because the quirks that they were showcasing were crazy. And if we wanted to do the All Might clone movie and just have it be the All Might clone movie, that would have been cool too. But to have them be both, it felt like they took away from each other. And then the more you learn about the All Might clone dude and how connected to the crime family, it's just like, then this doesn't feel genuine. Like, the more you know, it doesn't feel like, it didn't feel like, I would have loved it if it was like an All Might stand. This just felt like, I don't want to spoil it, but it would have been cooler to have it have been a parallel to like Deku or something, where it's just like a super fan that had like this crazy quirk that then went through the efforts to try to be like All Might, instead of it just being some crime dude. I don't know. I still had fun. It still looked cool. We had some moments. The Three Musketeers became four at one point. I won't say who joined the four, who was the fourth, but the Three Musketeers became four, and I was like, oh snap, are we, because we have like our tiers in Class 1A, and it's clear that the Three Musketeers are on their own, and then it's like tier 2. So like if they're tier 1, then it's like tier 2 and tier 3 for Class 1A. And it was like, oh, we added a fourth, and the events of this season definitely make it seem like there could be a fourth added into that Three Musketeer little bunch as far as like their quirks being strong. So it was cool for a little second, but yeah, that's all I got. I could yap about My Hero forever. I was supposed to do Vigilantes today, and I was like, I forgot I was going to this movie. Do you think we might see Anna and Julio in the Team Mission spinoff? I hope so. I want more from their characters. Actually, I don't want to spoil how the events of this movie go. I don't think so. I'll say that. The events of this movie, I don't think so. Yeah, I'll say that. I don't want to spoil, but yeah, I think I don't think they'll be in it. It'd be cool if they were, but I don't think they will. I don't think they would. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. But yeah. Overall, all right time. Not my favorite. It's gonna be hard for me. It's going to be hard. Yeah, they did have a cameo. If I'm being honest, the cameo kind of spoils the movie. So, because the cameo takes place after the events of this movie. So there you go. That's all. That's what I'll say. Cameo kind of spoils the movie. I was sitting there through like the climax of the movie and things are happening, and then my brain was like, but they showed him, and that was added for the anime. It was added because they weren't in the manga during the events of what have been last episode, 2 episodes ago, whenever they flashed on the screen. They wouldn't have been there, but they were added for the anime because of the movie. But I'm like, it kind of spoils the movie because those events happen after the movie. Yeah, it's gonna be hard to beat movie 2 for me. I don't know. I like the story. Them on the island, isolated, helping out. Villains show up. It's a very simple story. 9 was cool. You got the hint that Deku had multiple quirks in that movie, which was like a whoa. And just the double one for all, for me, it's gonna be hard to beat that. My brain was like, in this movie, my brain was cooking up some stuff. I'm like, just with everything that's on the table, this final moment's gonna be crazy. And then the final moment was the kind of final moment kind of baited me because I thought the final moment happened. I was like, that was it? Oh no. Oh no. And then it kept going. And I'm like, okay. And it ended up being way better than what I thought it was going to be. But it doesn't, it's not, it's the, to me, it's the worst final moment. It's still crazy. I say that, like, it's, I'm saying that because I'm putting the other final moments on a pedestal. Like watching All Might pose and Deku up there, and then they fly towards homeboy. I can't remember his name. And movie 1 was dope. The final moment for movie 2 doesn't need to be harped on. Insane. And then Deku running around going crazy on Fleck, so he can smash Fleck's reflect so that it can't reflect anymore and breaks it. That moment was crazy. And I thought we were gonna get something insane. We got something crazy, but we didn't get the insane thing that I thought we were gonna get. I'm thinking we could have got like a gear shift tease, but then I'm like, no, we can't do that because I don't know if his name's not been said. Because the second explicitly told Deku not to use it, and we see it chained up. So it's like, you can't use it. I'm like, damn it. But I'm like, we got to be able to do something. And we utilize our quirks. Don't get me wrong. We utilize them. But I wanted something. I wanted something insane. That's it. But yeah, I'm going to call that there. I got to go home. I got to go to bed. I got to be at work in 5 hours. So, calling it there. Thank you guys for checking in. Appreciate you guys. There should be some stuff tomorrow. There should be, well, technically today, there should be something going up on the channel. And tomorrow, which should be Saturday for me, looking to do like an 8 to 10 hour stream, just watching a ton of stuff, catching up on all the previous stuff. Daima should be going up tomorrow. That's what it was. Daima should be going up tomorrow because I want to say Daima releases tomorrow. So there's that. I'm gonna call it there. Appreciate you guys. And until next time.